Hey guys, Kinetica here, and welcome back to Game Gods. Guys, for future news or discussion videos, if there's any topics you would like to see covered, then let me know in the comments because I hang out there more than anyone should really. And for gaming news, if there's any gaming news that drops, hit me up with a tweet so I can be the first to get on it for you. All right, let's get into this. So let's talk about Twitch real quick because I'm a streamer. Maybe you're a streamer. I'm sure all of you watch streamers. But Twitch just dropped their new affiliate perks. So in case you didn't know, the affiliate program is basically a way for streamers to try to make revenue, even though they're not big and they're not partnered with Twitch yet. So at first they had this little thing called bits where you get a little bit of money off of that. You can check that out. It wasn't anything really special. But now they've gone and done it. And there's a great divide in the Twitch community because OG streamers are like, yo, what the fuck is going on? And these new kids on the block, the affiliate streamers, are all like, hey, it's party. And so like, you know, you got one side that's mad, they're about to throw a fucking riot, and the other side has party balloons. Why? Because affiliates just got sub buttons. And I'm not talking about subs like the Subway sandwich. I mean, they got sub buttons. Way better than a Subway sandwich. Now, the reason this is such a big deal, and I don't think people would be really upset if affiliates had to earn a sub button, but Twitch is just fucking giving these things away for free. I mean, they're like the Oprah of sub buttons right now. You get a sub button, you get a sub button, you get a sub button. Everybody gets sub buttons. Everybody's getting a sub button because the requirement to get partnered, which is why everybody wanted to get partnered because you get the coveted sub button. You used to have a shit ton of people, and then your viewership used to have to be about 500 people every time you streamed. Now that has changed, okay? It went from 500 viewers per stream, okay? That's where it used to have to be, to a new number. And I'm gonna let you guess what that new number is, okay? Because it went from 500 to, play at home with me. You got 5 seconds to guess the new number. No, you're all wrong. All of you wrong. You don't need that many. You only need 3. What? See that look in your face right now is the same look I had. How do you go from needing 500 to 3? Now get this. Not only do they get the sub button, but they get all the sub perks. They get to have all the tiers. They get to have the ability to run commercials, the ability to get paid from people who buy the games that they're streaming. They get everything. And why? Because they have 3 people who like them. So you can understand why people are kind of upset. And me being a streamer, I also am highly opinionated on this. I think all in all is bad. Sure, the good side of this is that you get to help out smaller channels who are able to support themselves sooner than they would have been able to otherwise. The bad news is you take away the medallion of achievement for all the OG streamers because people needed to build their stream and get thousands and thousands of followers, and then they needed to have a viewership that was at least 500 every time that they streamed, and now they only need 3. What the fuck? So this is coming from a streamer who at the moment, under the old school rules, would not be eligible for a partnership. I wouldn't be eligible for a sub button. But under these new rules, I sure as hell am. But even with that said, that's not something I think is really good for the community because there was something that was magical about having to climb that high, become that relevant, and work your ass off to build a community that embraced you and had content that could capture people. And then you got the coveted sub button. Now, you just have to have a couple of your buddies who like to tune in every time you stream and you're good. So that's what's going on with Twitch and the affiliate program. There's no difference between an affiliate and a sub now, not a real viable difference. Now, as far as Twitch goes, I was actually in stream for this net story I'm about to hit you with, okay? So Maximus Black, he's a streamer, a content creator on YouTube, and he's well known for his Starcraft commentary and gameplay. Well, he was in a Starcraft game a little over a week ago when he ran into this guy. Now, in case you don't know who this guy is, he's a pro player for Starcraft 2, well known for his less than kind-hearted attitude towards opponents and whatnot, and occasionally a rage quit here and there. Now, these two squared off, so it was Maximus Black, content creator, and Idra, the Idranator, mano a mano in a 1v1 StarCraft 2 game. The game went on for about 8 minutes, and it ended like this. Now, when that happened, Idra had a few words for Maximus, and this is what he said. So, I guess years just don't change some things. Now, StarCraft, on the StarCraft hype train, okay? StarCraft is going to be dropping the Remastered Edition. Now, I'm an OG StarCraft player. I played StarCraft 1, StarCraft 2, Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, a little bit of Warcraft 3 because that was a little funky, but I played it even though it was wonky. And I couldn't have been more excited to hear that they're bringing StarCraft, the original, back in its remastered version. So after like 20 years or however long it's been, they're bringing back a remastered. And even though it's in 4K, admittedly the remastered graphics are not 4K worthy, they are remastered and it does look great. Now with a touch of a button, you'll be able to flip right back to the old school graphics that they had when I was a kid, you know, a kid god. And then you hit the same graphics and you can see what they've been working on for probably like the last month. I don't know. But that's awesome. The price for it is even better or just as good. It's only 15 bucks. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Call of Duty, with your remastered crappy crap, because you brought back part of a remastered game and then you wanted 40 bucks after bringing it all late. And we're not even gonna get into it. Basically, Activision, you done fucked it up. But this is awesome because we're getting StarCraft Remastered, $15, coming August 14th. So be there or be square. Bam, bro toss, baby. Now speaking of Twitch, a new streamer has shown her face, rising from the ashes of streamers to emerge and become one of the most watched female streamers on Twitch. Her name is Mia Khalifa. Now, in case you don't know who Mia Khalifa is, she's known across the internet for doing videos that are, you generally have to be a certain age to purchase. I mean, but I know my audience. Who am I kidding? All of you know who she is. She's had more chocolate bars in her than a Willy Wonka factory, but now she's making the switch to streaming, okay? And did she hit it off with a blast? She, courtesy of her Instagram, advertised that she did 25,000 around a peak of her first day streaming, okay? Now, I guess the negative take from this is that the quality of the stream was pretty low. Like the camera wasn't great, the audio was bad. She wasn't particularly entertaining. Since she's stepped away from her previous profession, she's also put on some weight. So she's not looking as prime time as she might have at one point. But you know what? I'm going to try to give her a pass because she's new to the platform. But yeah, I mean, that is a huge jump for Mia. I mean, from her last job, which was definitely not flipping burgers, to streaming on Twitch. So who knows? Maybe she has some gamer in her, or just wants some. If she sticks with it, then hopefully she gets better quality content, learns to be a better entertainer, does something about that horrible audio. She didn't even look at her chat. She had a guy sitting next to her with like a laptop or something who was reading the chat to her. So she's got a long ways to go before she learns how to interact and how to entertain on Twitch. But she was new. So all streamers, adult stars or not, have to adjust to how Twitch is different than any other platform out there. So we'll give her some time to grow into that. But until then, Mia, well done indeed. Not bad. Now, let's go talk about this hardware that just came out, because I know you get hyped about hardware. I get hyped about hardware. Hardware is what makes the software as pretty as it can be. You gotta have some hard, you gotta have some soft, and then you gotta bam! Kind of like that pineapple pen, right? So, the Asus ROG Zephyrus just got announced. And in case you don't know what this is, which you probably don't, a lot of people don't, but this is big news whether you're a console gamer or a PC gamer, because this technology is what is up, okay? The Zephyrus is like a tower PC that puts some muscle on at the gym, then got a nice tailor for a beautiful design, and then went on some mad kind of crazy diet to get all thin, okay? It's crazy, it's crazy. It's got the strength and power of a tower PC. It's got the design and sleekness of a laptop, and it's thin like a tablet. It's amazing, okay? So here's the specs on it, right? i7 7700 HQ. It comes in either a 16 gig configuration of RAM or 24. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The screen is 16 inches with a GTX 1080 with a Max-Q design. One Type-C USB 3.1 Thunderbolt, and 4 USB 3.0s. Now, if that wasn't already enough, you already know that it comes with the HDMI, and this thing is only 0.7 of an inch thick. It's less than an inch thick, and that's with the lid closed, okay? And for any nerds out there who haven't hit the gym, who don't have that upper body muscle going on, this thing is only 5 pounds. So even you can carry it too. Now, the only drawback I would say is probably that it doesn't come with an Ethernet port on it. But if you look at an Ethernet jack, the Ethernet jack is damn near thicker, bigger than this laptop. So that's why it's not there. You got to make a few sacrifices when you're going paper thin, right? But being Asus, Republic of Gamers, they thought of everything. So included in this is a Ethernet adapter, plugs into the USB port. You're good to go, for sure. The only other kind of complaint I have is that I like bigger laptop screens, so like a 17-inch plus kind of thing going on. But 16-inch is pretty good too. So Asus, I'm gonna look forward to this. I might actually be picking one up myself. I'm impressed. Now let's talk about PlayStation real quick, since we're talking about hardware, because PlayStation has had a little bit of a problem. Who am I kidding? This is a big problem with their software. Like, I don't know if it's their algorithm. I don't know if it's PayPal. I don't know exactly who's to blame. And so far, they're just blaming each other. The blame game is real. But here's the problem. They're banning thousands, tons of people. They're banning tons of people, man. Just, it's a big ass ban fest on PlayStation 4 right now. And here's why. Anybody who's paid with PayPal, well, their account could be subject to a ban, because something's going on with the algorithm, or maybe there's a deeper dispute, but PayPal is doing some chargebacks on PlayStation accounts. And PayPal says it's PlayStation, Sony's fault. Sony says it's PayPal's fault. But in the meantime, it doesn't matter because they're banning people. See, Sony's first response to any chargeback, whether it's for your membership, whether it's for a game, whether it's a DLC, it doesn't matter. Any chargeback is an automatic ban hammer on your account. So, I mean, obviously that is not the way you do customer service. You should never go from, hey, welcome aboard, to get the fuck off my ship that fast. But apparently that's Sony's take on things, and they just straight ban people, no questions asked, 0 questions asked. And that's what's happening now. So I just got to take a second to push my own personal agenda, because this is what I'm always telling you guys, is that whenever you have the choice between a physical copy and a downloaded something floating in the cloud, hopefully with your name on it, copy, you should always take the physical copy. See, what you don't understand is that when you buy, quote unquote, a game online through Steam, through Microsoft or Sony, anything like that, you don't actually own the game. I bet you nerds didn't know that. You don't actually own the game. You are renting the game for as long as they support you renting the game. If at any point in time they ban your account, if at any point in time they stop supporting the game, then that game you paid $70 for, $80, $100 for a collector's edition, it's gone. Gone. You will never play it again through that account. If you buy a disc, you own that disc. It's yours. You can sell it, you can trade it, you can lend it to a friend. If your account gets banned by your doing or by wrongdoing, it doesn't matter if your brother or somebody hopped on your account, said a whole bunch of crazy things, or if the company just goes crazy and bans people, kind of like what's happening now, you will never be unable to play your game because you own it. So always get the physical copy of a game, as well as the DLC whenever it's possible too. Okay? Now, when Microsoft was at E3, there was a little game that got some of the people talking, because Battlegrounds, people love arena survival type games, right? So Battlegrounds is a survival shooter. And it's much in the same spirit of the H1Z1 King of the Hill kind of thing. And it is crazy, crazy popular right now. Well, Microsoft said it was an Xbox exclusive. And I remember seeing a YouTube video or two that was like, don't listen to that. Microsoft said that, some things were exclusive. They're not really going to be exclusive. Battlegrounds will be coming to PlayStation. It's going to be, Sony's got you, don't worry. Well, guess what? It's exclusive. It is not coming to Sony. And that has been confirmed by everybody pretty much. So that's the big news as far as Battleground goes. If you're a Sony PlayStation 4 player, you will not be getting Battlegrounds. But if you are a Microsoft gamer, then you will be getting Battlegrounds. Now, speaking of hype, Microsoft. Now, coming off of E3, there was all this hype train about all the games they were talking about. Of course, the Xbox that they're releasing later this year, and all that about how they just whooped ass and nobody was even coming close to them. Well, to keep on that hype train, they've dropped a little bit more information about hardware for us. And no, it's not just for the new Xbox that's dropping later this year, but it's for the Xbox Design Lab. Now, the Xbox Design Lab is super cool because it lets you make the controller of your dreams. Your color schemes, any color you want, is there. But now they've introduced 4 new colors for the controller and 11 colors for the thumbsticks. And now they've added rubberized grips for the controller as well. So, yes, yes, and yes. Plus, they have some new metallic colors that you can put on like the D-pad and the triggers as well. So, I mean, it's wow. I get super hyped whenever I can customize something and make it my own, put my name on it, or make it the color scheme that I want, or just make it me. Microsoft though, Xbox, if you're listening to me, I do have one major request. We need to be able to design the Elite controller, not just the normal controller, but the Elite controller needs to be a Design Lab option too, because that's a badass controller. The Elite controller, if you guys aren't up to speed, is probably one of the best controllers. Fuck it. It is the best controller ever made from a console manufacturer. So yes, that would be amazing if you could get a different color or color schemes besides just the standard black and silver they have for it now. Since we're talking about hardware, right? Let's talk about Nintendo. Let's just say that they don't understand the power of communication and how best to communicate. This can be seen by their conferences where they don't even show up at E3. They just send a video. They FaceTime at E3. But the problem with this particular situation that I'm talking about now is that they don't have very good voice chat for their games. I mean, this is a step forward because I remember on several Nintendo platforms, you don't even have voice chat. But right now, the way the voice communication works on the Switch is you need a cell phone. That's right. Not just any cell phone. You need a smartphone in order to have microphone capabilities. Now, why on earth or anywhere in the universe would you be required to have a cell phone just to talk to somebody? I have no idea. It doesn't make sense. It's crazy. But yeah, you need a cell phone just to be able to communicate. So Hori makes some of the best console hardware like you've ever seen. In fact, I reviewed one of their products right here, and it was awesome. Now, the problem with this particular Hori product is you have to plug the headset into the cell phone. Then you have to plug the headset into the Switch. So you need a headset to use the headset for the headset to work. Now, sure, it looks cutesy, you know. Well, I mean, some people might think it looks kind of funky, but, you know, it has kind of a cute charm to it. But Hori, I know you know better, but Nintendo, you probably don't. This is how a headset is supposed to work. See headset? Now it works. So Nintendo, when you go to make a headset or anything like that, just remember it's important to be able to put the headset on and then simply talk. Now speaking about Nintendo, you know the Nintendo classic, right? The NES, hype train, the hypometer that you can't really get anymore unless you know somebody who probably stole from somebody and then put it on eBay and then they bought it from eBay and now you have it from a gift. Yeah, that thing. Well, they announced the successor to it. I mean, we all saw it coming, of course. The Super Nintendo Classic Mini! Now, being a super OG gamer who obviously owned the first Nintendo, Super Nintendo, everything, Nintendo 64, everything, all Nintendo stuff, GameCube, all that stuff. Of course, I'm excited to see this. In fact, it gets even better because it's dropping with 21 super hot titles. And I'm excited to, you know, play them all, or at least go through all of them and, you know, see some of the ones that I might not have played before and see what it's like. You know, it's like it's a cocaine shot of nostalgia right in your veins. How could you not want that, right? So that's going to be coming out. And in fact, pre-orders for it have dropped in Europe, or should I say stopped in Europe because they're sold out. Yeah, pre-orders for that went out in like a day. It was like, bam! So if you're in the EU and you want one of these, then you better get your Nikes on so you can make it to your nearest game store or whatever and pick one up as soon as it hits the shelves. Unless you get super lucky and they have another round of pre-orders, in which case you need to be living in front of your computer to get on that. And for everybody else around the world, you need to keep hopping on Amazon or Best Buy or something like that and holding down, spam the F5 key, refresh that thing even when you're sleeping so that you can see as soon as the pre-orders become available. Because if you don't click buy within the first 2.3 seconds, you're probably just gonna have to get one from eBay. I don't know. The good news about that though is that Nintendo did say that they're making a substantial amount more than they did for the NES Classic. But as we know with Nintendo, a substantial amount could mean like twice as much. You know, if they made twice as much, you'd still be in the same boat as you were. So I suggest getting it as quick as possible. And yeah, speaking of giveaways, wink, wink, hint, hint, we're planning to do a giveaway for a Nintendo Mini. Okay, so if you're new here, remember to subscribe and of course drop a like. That's all it really takes to help the Game Guys empire expand. And remember, don't just play like a god, look like a god. That's been This Week in Games. See you guys in the next video.